Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this. But I can't ignore my symptoms. I know, you can't. So, another beautiful day, fall day. Breathe in the calm, exhale the chaos, drop your shoulders, smile. Hand on your heart. Keep on doing that. Breathe it in, the calm. So, but Dan, I can't ignore my symptoms. They're too intense. They scare me too much. They hurt too much. They're too distracting, disturbing. I feel sick. I don't feel right. I can't ignore them. So the first thing I will say is I don't believe in any of my videos, over 2,300, I don't believe I've ever said, ignore your symptoms to get them to go away. Because that would be setting you on a task that is virtually impossible. So we can't ignore our symptoms. They're designed to get our attention, right? We just can't ignore it. We can't turn them off. They're there. We're gonna notice. So let yourself off the hook. You're not failing by noticing your symptoms. Because I have a lot of people that email me or tell me in group coaching or whatever, and they'll say, yeah, I can't help it. I always notice my symptoms. Right. Welcome to being a human. You're supposed to. So, how much do you notice them? How often? And that's okay, because you're going to notice them. If you're doing anything and they're there, you will be aware of them. The real question is, when you do notice them, how much do they bother you? So it's not whether you notice them, because you will. But what's more important is how much do they bother you? And for some people, they bother us a lot. Now, why is that the case? Well, because they suck. They hurt. They make us feel like crap. I get it. But if you knew they were temporary, how much would they bother you? It's like going to the dentist. You know it's going to hurt, be uncomfortable, doing that whole dentist thing, and, they'll give you the needle, and the drilling sometimes is uncomfortable. But if you knew it was temporary, like at the dentist, you might not like it, but you're not going to panic. And so, if you knew your symptoms were temporary, how much would they bother you? Now, I've been talking for a long time. Clarity plus unbothered equals recovery. So how do you get to be unbothered or less bothered? Well, it's got to start with what? Clarity. Certainty. Right? Because if you're uncertain as to what's causing your symptoms, good luck being less bothered. You're going to be bothered. And you're going to notice your symptoms more because, frankly, when we are uncertain about the cause of the symptoms, we're very scared of them. We're going to be looking for them more and more. And so not only will we notice them, but we're going to be extra bothered by them. And that fear symptom loop that I spoke about yesterday continues. So, let yourself off the hook. You will notice them. You're supposed to. That's part of being human. That's part of the whole brain nervous system, warning signals, right? Symptoms are warnings that something's going on. And in the case of chronic symptoms, it's very often a false alarm, misinformed by bad information and fear. And so none of it's your fault. Noticing your symptoms, it's not your fault. You're supposed to. Being bothered by symptoms, it's normal. Most people are initially. And it takes time and practice, but most importantly, clarity and certainty as to what's causing them. And certainty that means they're temporary, to learn to be less bothered by them over time. So try not to view this whole thing as I'm failing because I can't ignore my symptoms, because that is a recipe for feeling bad about yourself. And the logical conclusion to the statement of I can't ignore my symptoms, therefore I won't get better. And that's a foregone conclusion that you don't want to come to because it's not true. You can't ignore your symptoms because you can't ignore them. Nobody can. The key is, can you, with clarity and certainty as to their cause, and the clarity in knowing that they are temporary, can you teach yourself and practice being less and less bothered over time? I believe that's where the progress lies. So focus there. I'm going to wrap this one up. Not terribly complex, but difficult to implement for sure. So, hope everybody's doing well. It's a Friday here when I'm recording this, so I hope you all have a great weekend. And as usual, I love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.